Hey travelers, it's Gabby. Planning a Disney trip is all about creating those magical moments that stick with your family for years. But let's be real, mamas, the planning part can sometimes feel a little less than magical, especially when it comes to the budget. Disney's dining plan is back, but is it actually worth it for your family? We ran the numbers, and the answer is it depends, especially on what you eat and how much. Today, I want to walk you through what we've learned, kind of like sharing a cup of coffee and swapping notes, mom to mom. We're going to break down what the dining plan offers, look at some real-life cost comparisons, and talk about those times when it truly makes sense and when you might be better off paying as you go. Let's dive in and see if this plan can help make your next Disney adventure even sweeter. All right, so let's first get a good handle on what we're actually talking about when we say Disney dining plan. For each night you're staying at a Disney resort, the standard plan gives each person in your group, age 3 and up, a set number of meal and snack credits. It's designed to cover a good portion of your daily eats, so you're not constantly reaching for your wallet every time someone gets a little rumbly in their tummy. First up, you get 1 quick service meal credit per person per night. And these are your more casual spots where you typically order at a counter or on your phone, grab your food, and find a table. Think of places like Pecos, Bill Tall Tale Inn, and Cafe in Magic Kingdom, or Sunshine Seasons over in Epcot. Then you also receive 1 table service meal credit per person per night. These are your sit-down restaurants where you'll have a server, a more extensive menu, and often a really fun theme or even character interactions. Imagine having dinner at Be Our Guest restaurant or enjoying a family-style feast at Ohana. Next on the list is 1 snack or non-alcoholic beverage credit. And finally, each person on the plan gets a resort refillable mug. You pick this up at your Disney Resort hotel, and then you can refill it with fountain drinks, coffee, or tea at any quick service location at any Disney Resort hotel throughout your stay. Now that we know what's included in the package, let's talk about the part that often makes our heads spin a little, the cost. Currently, the standard Disney dining plan is priced at around $94 per adult and about $30 per child, ages 3 to 9, per night. When you first hear those numbers, especially if you're multiplying them by several family members and several nights, it can feel like a pretty significant investment. And it is. So the big question we all have is, does it actually add up in our favor? Does it save us money in the long run? Let's try to break this down with a real-world kind of day. Imagine you're starting your morning with a character breakfast buffet, say at Topolino's Terrace. Those can be a highlight of the trip, right? For an adult, that experience might cost around $63 out of pocket. Then for lunch, you grab a quick service meal that rings in at about $15. And later in the afternoon, everyone's ready for a classic Mickey pretzel, which is about $6. If you add all that up for 1 adult, you're looking at $84 for the day. So in this scenario, you've spent $84, but the dining plan cost you $94. You're close, but not quite breaking even. But here's where it gets interesting and where your family's eating habits really come into play. Let's say for that table service meal, instead of a lunch, you were to use it on a character dining dinner like Ohana at the Polynesian Resort, which runs $65 per adult and $42 for children. Add on a select cocktail at $16 a piece. With a quick service breakfast costing approximately $17 plus coffee and juice, and a snack around lunch, especially if there is one of the fantastic festivals going on in Epcot, you would be at a daily cost of at least $275. In that scenario, you'd be in the black and your youngest ate an amazing dinner on Mickey. After crunching some numbers, you might be wondering, okay, Gabby, when does this dining plan make sense for a family like mine? And that's such a great question because it's not always just about the dollars and cents on a spreadsheet. Sometimes the true value lies in the experience and the peace of mind it can bring, which, as a mom, I can tell you is often priceless. One of the biggest times it shines is if your family absolutely loves character meals and you plan on booking them frequently, maybe even daily. These experiences, while so memorable and magical for the kids, and let's be honest, for us too, tend to be on the pricier side if you're paying out of pocket. If you know you're going to be hugging Mickey at Chef Mickey's one day, dining with princesses the next, and maybe visiting Pooh and friends after that, the dining plan can really help manage those costs and make them feel more predictable. It's also a wonderful option if your family, especially if you have older kids or teenagers with those seemingly bottomless appetites, loves to try all the different snacks and specialty non-alcoholic drinks throughout the parks. You know how it is. You walk past a cart with those amazing smelling cinnamon glazed almonds, or someone spots a unique slushy flavor in Epcot. With the snack credits, there's a built-in permission to indulge a little, to say yes to those fun treats without constantly doing mental math or feeling like you're nickel and diming the fun. It encourages a bit of culinary exploration, which can be a really enjoyable part of the Disney adventure. So after all this talk about credits, costs, and character breakfasts, we come back to that big question. Is the Disney dining plan a win or a waste for your family? There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but hopefully we've given you some good food for thought, some things to really ponder as you plan your own magical trip, or take the stress out of it all, and use a travel planner like myself to handle the pesky details. But here's the real magic. The thing that sometimes gets overlooked when we're deep in the numbers, it's not always just about saving money. Sometimes the greatest value of something like the dining plan is the peace of mind it offers. That wonderful feeling of knowing everything's pretty much paid for before you even step foot in the parks. This allows you to truly immerse yourselves in the experience, to focus on making those precious memories, not constantly checking prices on a menu or worrying about the final bill. It's about creating a space where joy can flourish without financial friction. If you need help figuring out these details or just need to talk it out, I have the right tools for you. You can go to smartfamilytravels.com to have me sort out the muck with you, or join our travel community on Facebook. It's linked right down there in the description below. I make sure to put these things in place so you can build a Disney vacation that's as delicious as it is delightful. Happy planning, and may your next trip be filled with all the magic. Don't forget to subscribe for even more tips, trips, and unforgettable moments.